Now, here in the glorious homeland of the US of A, Donald Trump actually is pressuring people to bring morality back to our country, ironically. When is enough for our Republican senators? There comes a time when you must do what should have been done a long time ago, and something which the lunatic Democrats will do on day one if they ever get the chance. Terminate the filibuster, get our airports and everything else moving again. Also add complete all 5 items for the Save America Act. Go for the gold, President DJT. Of course, he was betrayed by the Republicans, who are not actually doing this thing that he is requesting them to ask, because we have a lot of traitors within our own ranks. But don't get too down about it. Unbelievable victories are being held. I am an optimist, but also, even more than that, I think I'm actually fighting for what's really important. Salvation doesn't come from the government. Salvation comes from God. And he'll look out for you if you try to make yourself a better person on the way. It comes from within, ultimately. All right, at least that's my stance. Now, interestingly enough, all right, Democrats tried to torture the American people with their shutdown of DHS, TSA, people leaving, airports becoming pandemonium. At JFK or airport, as travelers waited in hours-long lines, this is one of the most unbelievable videos that was ever filmed. This is a child who fainted and stopped breathing. And an ICE agent who was there at the time performed CPR on this child because ICE was deployed to airports to deport illegal aliens. God works in mysterious ways, doesn't he? The mom, as you can see, is crying her eyes out. This ICE agent performs CPR and saves the child's life. Unbelievable, dude. At JFK Airport, as travelers waited in hours-long lines, an infant became unresponsive and stopped breathing. The panic of the child's family and nearby passengers were heard by an ICE agent stationed at a checkpoint. The heroic officer sprang into action, rushing towards the cries, taking the child and performing a Heimlich maneuver that restored the infant's breathing after nearly 2 minutes. Unbelievable. This officer's extraordinary bravery embodies the selfless service of DHS law enforcement. This kid would be dead, killed by the Democrats for their little public propaganda campaign. This child would be dead if ICE agents wouldn't have been deployed to airports. Another child sacrificed on the altar of Democrat tolerance. And we see it again and again and again. Democrats are in meltdown mode. ICE agents got the green light to check people's IDs and passports at airports. All right, they said that they weren't actually going to help. They are manning the booths. Yeah, I'd like to see an illegal alien get into the United States now. Oh my God. Leftoids on suicide watch. Brother. Oh my God, bro. Yeah, good luck getting into the country if you're illegal. Good luck sneaking past some libtard airport worker now. Diabolical, bro. We should do that. We should keep these people here, actually. That's awesome, right? Remember how they were claiming they're underqualified? Well, the leftoids are unhappy at the rapid, untrained ICE agents search the airports. They're checking IDs. They're clearing lines. They're checking everything. Yup.
Checking everything. They're all over. ICE is everywhere out here now.
Oh, ICE is everywhere out here now. Wow. And things are working. They're saving lives, quite literally. Where is the propaganda gonna go? Cory Booker, all right, this is Cory Booker, leftoid extraordinaire, speaking at an empty Newark airport with no lines, talking about how Trump brought chaos to the airport.
Get the hell out of our airports.
This guy would sit by and watch that child die in the airport. Not even exaggerating.
Trump has brought chaos into our airport in New Jersey.
Chaos? The airport's empty. Before ICE showed up, the lines were clogged for 8 hours. Now the airport's empty.
This is his way of doing things. Chaos, cruelty.
It's literally empty behind him.
And corruption.
Oh my God.
That is visiting upon us now because Donald Trump won't fund TSA and has.
You won't fund TSA. Trump's been trying. You people don't want to fund TSA to literally create artificial torture for the American people and then be like, look how much you suffered under Trump's government. This is literally the leftist strategy. Torture Americans, blame Trump. And you know what? It works on a lot of retards.
ICE into our airport.
Based.
Get ICE out of our airports. It's not.
Tell that to the mother whose child almost died and was rescued by an ICE agent after 2 minutes of not breathing. It's unbelievable looking at the priorities of these people.
Good for our customers. It's
Really?
not good for flyers.
It's not good for flyers. Really? It's not good for flyers. Interesting. Fascinating stuff. Now, in other good ICE news, Jonathan Ross, the ICE agent who fatally shot Renee Good in Minneapolis, will not be facing charges. Colossal W. Leftoids mad. Keep crying, actually. Very sad that she's dead. She decided to commit suicide by cop. Very sad. Rip Bozo. You died protecting pedophiles like every leftist tries to do. And because the left wasn't having a bad enough day, this just dropped and no one is happy. Well, I'm happy, but none of the retards are happy, which is great.
Deportation officers, a few thousand more to come. Well, if you...
A few thousand more deportation officers coming. See, a lot of people, like, you know, the Democrats tried so hard with, like, this emotional gaslighting. No, what if they deport millions? Fuck yeah, dude, deport millions. I love that.
I think numbers are good last year. Wait till this.
I might radicalize people, actually, but I feel like the discussion has really moved. No, we're tired of this. All right, we have borders. You come here illegally. You're going to have to fucking leave. Now it's your choice. You could leave willingly or we could do whatever the fuck we want. I fully support that, actually.
Year. We got a lot more resources on the streets. We're going to have a lot more resources on the street. Which brings us to another issue. I see there's a lot of language out there that President Trump's backing off on mass deportation. No, he's not.
Oh, shit. The wall has spoken.
Look, people are saying I'm not serious about deportations. I've read this lately. I've overseen more deportations than any man since the Eisenhower administration. Tom Homan is now weak on deportation.
God damn.
And matter of fact, my chief of staff, who you met, she came out to me, she looked at the Eisenhower number, your number's actually better. So look, President Trump's serious about it. He's going to do it in a smart way.
Right.
Look, we got sanctuary cities putting a roadblock. You got Congress wants to abolish ICE. It's less efficient than it could be, but I talked to Todd Blanche an hour ago. We're suing the hell out of sanctuary cities. We'll get the numbers we need.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. They're all going to fucking go. One way or another, they will leave. And now, the Donald, during his little cabinet meeting, he's been dropping fire here, too.
Let it happen. We're not going to let the Democrats get away with this stuff, and people are wise to them. So they need to end the shutdown immediately, or we'll have to take some very drastic measures. This morning, I want to give an update on the...
That's right. Drastic measures will happen, and they will happen soon.
17,000 truckers off the road that quite frankly, could not speak English.
That's right.
It's a safety issue.
Yeah.
Could we ever extend that to Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, cab drivers?
That's
There's
right.
someone who takes a lot of Ubers, a lot of my drivers can't speak.
Oh, well, that's not good. I didn't like that. Go ahead, John.
So that's a really good point. The problem is that our states are the ones that issue these licenses. So with commercial driver's licenses, we do have some federal control. But again, we have thousands of people who can't speak the language, long-standing rule, and it's a safety issue, right? If you can't understand
obviously
road signs, if you can't communicate with law enforcement when you're pulled over and communicate what's on your rig,
that's a problem.
Huge problem. But the last administration, Mr. President, they let truck driving schools self-certify that they were qualified to train truck drivers. And so this is like the Leering Center. So you pay $800 and you get a certificate that you passed a CDL driving school, and again they have no skills.
Yep.
They don't have the knowledge, and they don't have the skills. They haven't gone through any of the testing.
Get them out.
And then they get licenses, and they're killing Americans on
They
our
are.
roads. So
This
it's
is true.
remarkable the
Objectively.
rot that the last administration allowed to take place. We are ending that, and I need partnership with our states. Even California started to come on board. Even Gavin has started to play ball with us.
Even gruesome Newsom is starting to notice that this is untenable.
Somalia-oriented. It's very Somalia-oriented.
Somalia. People were really freaking out. They're like, wait a second. We just have an openly racist president? Not racist enough. God damn it.
Think of it. These people come from a crooked country, disgusting
right.
country, one of the worst countries in the world.
It's true. Somalia, shithole, terrible place. None of them should be here.
Acknowledged to be one of the worst countries
It's
in the
true.
world. Some people say it's the worst.
Yeah, I would go as far. It's the only fourth world country, some would say.
They have no money. They have nothing.
They have rape. They have that. Literally, they have rape. Yo, Mr. President, let's not forget what they do have. They've been exporting that on scale, actually, some would say. Japan exports Toyota. China exports cheap products. Iran exports terrorism. And then we have Somalia, mass exporter of rape. Why the Democrats like it so much. The pro-rape party sees them as a fantastic inclusion into our culture.
They come to our country.
One of the most radicalizing things I've ever seen in my entire life was that interview with the Somali guy. I showed it in a video a couple days ago. An interview with the Somali guy, and they said to him, hey, are there any, like, negative repercussions to rape? And he's like, yeah, sometimes the woman can scream. And it's like, whoa, get the fuck out of my country. Oh, my God.
Low IQs, and they rob us blind.
True.
Stupid people.
Pirates.
And they rob us blind.
Dumbasses.
Because we have crooked politicians.
Pirate dumbasses.
And we have dirty cops. The Attorney General's a dirty cop.
I agree.
It's my opinion.
I agree, Mr. President, with your opinion. It's my opinion.
And something should be done
Also,
about him. Let's see what kind of job he can do.
Something should be done about him. It's going to happen. All right, we're going to get our arrest. It's going to happen. I have faith. Mr. President, you got to fucking throw these guys in the slammer for a really long time, please, Mr. President, sir. Things are moving, actually. Finally, things are actually happening. God. I love it.
Is willing to fund all of the security and safety of the American people. We cannot believe it's come to that, but it has.
If the Senate gets that through the Senate, will you put it on the floor?
We'll have to see. We have to solve the problem, and it's very sad that Democrats are not interested in doing that. Yes.
Does that mean that you're not in favor of breaking the DHS funding bill apart, just funding TSA, just funding FEMA, having individual votes on each section?
We have never been in favor of breaking the bill up. Why? Because it's one of the 12 separate appropriations bills that is the most basic function of Congress to fund the government. And we did it in a bipartisan, bicameral manner. Remember, the contents of that bill were decided upon earlier by Democrats until they decided to hold the American people hostage in their long lines at the airports and with the safety of everybody on the line to make a political point. It is shameful. There is no way for them to defend this to the American people. And breaking it out
they don't even defend it.
I think
that's the craziest part. They don't even try to defend it to the American people. They're just like, Trump is president right now, and your life sucks. It was our fault, actually. But your life sucks under Trump's presidency. You should vote Democrat. That's literally the strategy.
I think it puts an exclamation point on what they've tried to do here. It's shameful. So many people have been through so many hardships because of this nonsense. And what we're concerned about is people may actually be hurt. More people harmed by criminal illegal aliens that are being protected by the Democrat Party. And we're sick of it.
Damn, and he just storms off. And he's right. And honestly, I think the people are getting sick of it. For everyone that doesn't approve of Trump, no one approves of the Democrats. These guys are fucking diabolical in the most biblical sense of the word. Right? Senator Mike Lee was crashing out on the Democrats too. All right, people are just tired of it. I think for so long, everyone was like, well, we have different political agendas. We have different fiscal decisions. We have different ideologies in regards to how the country should run. But ultimately, we both want the country to work. And I think people are realizing that that's not the case. We're starting to realize that these people are fucking evil.
In the Senate, we just voted on a simple voter ID measure. This was a scaled-down version of the Save America Act, one that requires only a photo ID at the time and place of voting. And
they rejected not even, literally just photo ID, not even proof of citizenship. Photo ID.
Omits the proof of citizenship requirements. Even that was something that every single Democrat in the Senate voted against. Now,
isn't that amazing? Isn't it just so blatant and obvious? 80% of the country wants photo ID, and the Democrats all unanimously reject it. It's like they literally just want fraud. They just want fraud. It's insane.
Think about it this way. 2 years ago, every Senate Democrat supported a bill that contained a voter ID requirement. What changed? Why are they doing this?
Great question, Senator. Great question. Why are they doing this indeed? Well, this is Democrat Representative Tom Swalwell saying the quiet part out loud. And honestly, I'm so grateful that they're retarded. Operation Let Them Speak.
If you've been here since President Trump became the president on January 20th of 2017, you've been here since that time, and you haven't committed a crime but for not having proper documentation, let's figure out
but for invading the country illegally. That's what he's trying to say.
a way to legalize you so you can go.
Let's legalize you. That's the goal. That's always been the goal. Let in 30 million illegal aliens and then poof, find an excuse to just make them all citizens. I mean, they didn't do anything aside from invade the country illegally. Let's just make them all citizens. Wow. And of course, they'll vote for the Democrats, the party that's actually trying to do that. And once that happens, the country's dead. Once that happens, the country's dead. We have 370 million people. They want to bring in 50 million illegals, naturalize them, and then we lose democracy. And then they maintain absolute and complete forever rule, where they could just open the country to bring in more retards and more retards constantly to overwhelm and overrun us. And that's it. That's it. You get infinite transgenders until, obviously, Islam outbreeds us. That's the goal. I hope you're happy to understand the Democrat future. They'll argue about things like healthcare and shit. They don't care about any of that. The reason why they push all that is because they want to get the poor person vote. They want to get the retards to vote for them, the poor people to vote for them, the criminals to vote for them, and the illegals to vote for them. That's literally their plan. They'll win. They open the border. They bring in 50 million illegals from every shithole on the planet. Yes, obviously, America becomes a PvP server, and that doesn't matter. They have ultimate power. They will never be outvoted ever. All right? And once that happens, the retards will outbreed us, and they will dominate us. And that is how America becomes a caliphate. Hope you're paying attention, because that's what the enemy wants. And they're willing to trade away our country and our future for power. And they don't have children, so what do they care if America dies in a generation?
Go to work every day. You can pay your taxes. You can raise your family. You can travel freely and not be afraid of being deported.
I disagree. I think they should live in constant fear of deportation until inevitably they get deported. We have a country, we have borders, and they gotta fucking obey the law, obey the rules, not invade our country illegally, or you're gonna fucking go. America's the greatest country on the planet. Our culture actually means something. If you're gonna import 4 bajillion Pakistanis, this country will be Pakistan. Pakistan's a shithole. They have a dolphin rape epidemic in Pakistan. The people are freaking out because of the amount of dolphin rape that happens there. There's no dolphin rape in the United States, but there will be if we become Pakistan. Now, the reality is everyone knows kind of that this is happening. People that are in the know in politics, even CNN kind of knows. This is CNN obliterating a Democrat because none of the things they actually claim they're fighting for is something they're actually fighting for. All right? Like, why are they defunding the airports?
But isn't ICE funded? It was funded in the big, beautiful bill.
So why don't we just fund TSA?
Well, I mean, in the reality is that in the offer that Senate Republicans brought to you a few days ago, there was a plan to put funding for enforcement at the border, plus, of course, Republicans want the SAVE Act in a reconciliation package, and fund the rest of it.
That's right.
And yet Democrats said no.
Yeah, why?
But isn't ICE...
And there's nothing to say about that. And even CNN, just asking the basic questions, just completely shuts them down. It's like, I don't understand. Why don't you want photo ID? And they'll come up with every excuse on the planet. It's because they want to steal elections. All right. The crazy thing is, and this is awesome. You know, now they're coming to attack our new Secretary of Homeland Security, Mark Wayne Mullen. They're going to attack him for not having enough experience. They ask John Fetterman, and a Democrat, and he destroys them.
I didn't know that you thought he was a good fit for the job, because I've never seen anybody in that position with no experience in law enforcement, let alone Homeland Security.
All right, and then these people, they're attacking him constantly, but he has no experience. He has no experience. Why would you have him there?
Yeah, well, Mayorkas may have had some experience, and the border turned into an absolute disaster.
Wow, so all the experience of all the people in the Biden administration, and they fucking ruined our country. Interesting, huh?
No, and I referred to Noam as their version of Mayorkas. You know, but I do believe he's committed, and we've had multiple conversations, and his top priority is to secure our border, round up all of the criminals, and they're not going to have any more things like Minneapolis and that tragedy. And I would point out that, to my knowledge, what I've reported, there is no ICE presence in Minneapolis anymore right now. So, you know,
unfortunately, now no one's perfect. Unfortunately, first of all, we need Mayorkas in prison. I think that's really obvious. I think he committed treason. But even more than that, we got to start the mass deportations, my guy. We got to do that. All right. Majority Leader Steve Scalise pummeled Hakeem Jeffries using his own words. All right. Because the funniest thing is, these people are all hypocrites. Their actual values don't exist. Their values are non-existent. They have goals. Their goal is power. And none of their values need to align at all.
I think this is an important quote that everybody should listen to right now. This is Hakeem Jeffries, and I quote.
Hakeem Jeffries, the guy who's fighting to not fund the Department of Homeland Security.
We are here today to do a single job: And that should be to fund fully the Department of Homeland Security.
Oh, that's brutal.
Anything else is an abdication of our responsibility. Anything else is an act of legislative malpractice. We're playing political games at a time when the safety and the security of the American people is being threatened.
Wow, so true, huh?
Close quote. That's Hakeem Jeffries, Madam Speaker. Unfortunately, that was Hakeem Jeffries from February of 2015. What happened to that Hakeem Jeffries?
That Hakeem Jeffries is dead because that Hakeem Jeffries never existed. That was a political tool that he used at the time, and now he's using other political tools at the time. These people don't believe anything they fucking say. It's so obvious. Tim Walz is freaking out also about ICE.
We're saying that, Chris. This is about normalizing. That's what they're trying.
Right? Because ICE is in airports, and it normalizes ICE. ICE is normal. It's literally the enforcement arm of the government to protect us from illegal aliens. It is our immigration and law enforcement. Yeah, they're normal.
To do it. And they continue to test and they continue to push and then they back off and then they come again. It's about feeling normalized that this is what we have. Look,
it is normal that we have immigration law, yes.
I think many of us got used to TSA after 9/11. That was something new in our airports. Many of us...
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, there was a plane that crashed into a building, killed 3,000 people or something.
We're used to seeing, you know, military-style police in airports in Europe and Asia. We weren't used to it in America. Now they're trying to do this same thing. Like, this is a normal thing.
It is a normal thing. To have immigration enforcement by a border? Why is that not normal?
Not normal. These guys aren't doing a damn thing. They weren't qualified.
Well, they saved the kid's life.
To be here in Minnesota. They're not
qualified. Well, now they are qualified enough, I guess, to actually read people's IDs and shit.
Qualified to be at the airport, and they are dang sure not qualified to be anywhere near a polling station.
Oh, wow. That's an interesting thing to say. That's a really interesting thing to say. What does polling stations have anything to do with anything? It's almost like these people, their entire fear is that they're not going to be able to rig elections.
But I would be absolutely shocked if he is not already making plans. I mean,
he should be. Every polling station should have ICE agents. I don't see why not.
Democratic states are seeing this assault. We have the most...
An assault of ICE agents not letting illegal aliens steal elections. It's like, it's so obvious. And is anyone waking up to the issue? All right? This is why we need immigration enforcement. What is this, man? What the fuck is going on? They're burning American flags. They're waving Palestine flags. This is today outside City Hall in Philadelphia. Masked Islamists light dozens of American flags on fire. This is fucking insane. I would say that this is domestic terrorism, in fact. Now, Virginia, of course, retard area, Virginia. Breaking news! Virginia is now allowing 22-year-old illegal migrants who don't speak English to enroll in public schools with 14-year-old girls.
A Virginia mom is speaking out over a statewide policy that...
What do you mean? They're just people like all people. Why would you think that they are more likely to rape your child than anyone else? I don't know why you would think so. You're probably racist.
That allowed for a 19-year-old illegal immigrant from El Salvador to be a student at her daughter's high school, where he is now accused of groping girls in the hallways between classes.
Literally, no one could have seen this coming.
Israel Flores Ortiz entered the country illegally 2 years ago under Joe Biden.
Illegal alien. We don't know anything about this person. This is an adult put into high school with 14-year-old girls. Well, because we have to teach him English, right?
And even though he's 19 years old, which is older than the average high school graduate, he was still enrolled as a student. And in the state of Virginia, that is completely legal. Virginia public schools have a policy for
public schools. Like, I love how everyone's saying that our tax dollars don't go to fund illegal aliens. Who's paying for public schools? Who's paying for this person that invaded our country illegally to be in a public school? That's right, me. Me and you.
For students from other countries.
Please, please, let us into your child's school while we rape your country. Please.
And that policy reads in part, quote, if an English learner student is enrolled in a Virginia public school and turns 22 during that school year, that student may continue through the end of that school year.
Isn't that beautiful?
Now, to put that into perspective, high school...
I think that's gorgeous. We're taking 22-year-old illegal aliens and putting them with 14-year-old girls in the same class because, well, our taxpayer dollars desperately need to fund these people's English-speaking abilities.
School freshmen are typically between the ages of 14 and 15.
Beautiful.
So theoretically, this man could have stayed in the
party of rape, ladies and gentlemen.
Virginia public school system until he was 22 years old, with people almost a decade younger than him. Now, 22 is old.
And this is an illegal alien. And a lot of people don't want to talk about this, but some cultures are just more pro-rape than other cultures. That's why we have to fucking lock our underwear in Walmarts now. All right? When you import a low-trust society into a high-trust society, you create another low-trust society. Like, this is obvious. All right? Any child would explain to you that this is retarded.
Than most college graduates. And here's one mom's take.
It's terrifying as a parent because when I send my daughter...
Oh, she just must be a white supremacist. She's probably just racist. It's a very racist position not wanting your daughter to get raped by migrants. I don't know if you've heard the news, but actually, and I'm going to say something Islamophobic. I'm actually against raping children. I know. A Muslim somewhere is crying that I'm saying this because I offended him. I apologize deeply, of course, and sincerely. I'm not trying to offend anyone when I say that I'm against child rape.
To school, I think they're safe in the care of the school. And in this case, they absolutely were not safe. And I don't know what parent wouldn't be completely distraught at the idea that their daughters could be getting sexually battered while they're changing classes. This is a public safety issue. This is a problem for every single parent in the school, whether you're a Democrat, whether you're an independent, or whether you're a Republican.
That's not true, woman. You're mistaken. You see, the Democrats, they're not racist, so they're pro-rape. It comes together these days. It's a whole nice package.
This is a public safety issue, and every single parent's daughters are at risk because of this policy.
Fairfax County Public Schools.
That's just an objective fact, isn't it? I think we are all thinking exactly what the bald Jew is thinking right now. Stephen Miller went on Fox News, and he said literally what every one of us are thinking.
God help us if they ever got back in power, Sean. Yeah. Look, under Joe Biden, we know they let in 20 million illegal aliens. Sex trafficking, labor trafficking, human trafficking, drug dealing, cartel slayings, one atrocity, one horror show after another. Now here they are trying to end the Department of Homeland Security, trying to disable the heroes who keep us safe each and every day. Remember, this department, Sean, was created after 9/11. It was created to ensure that foreign nationals could not enter this country and kill Americans. And now this party, the Democratic Party, they're at war with the heroes trying to keep the terrorists from killing our loved ones. That's what we're up against, Sean. And to your point about voter ID, why would a political party refuse to support proof of citizenship, refuse to support voter ID when you brought in all these illegal aliens, unless you were trying to ensure that illegal aliens could vote and tilt the balance of power? This strikes at the very heart of our democracy. This is about whether or not democracy as we know it survives in America, Sean.
He's not even wrong. I see people underplaying this shit, but this is existential. Who would have thought the pro-rape party is desperately trying to rape? There's no way you could be a centrist after watching my videos, right?